So let's go, guys. We're now with the top elo section, 1500 to 1800. Exclamation mark rank for the players. Nickname for their current ranking here. And this is the 1500 to 1800 section. We have Oyecomova in the teal here as Mayans for Arabia. Solid Arabia pick for sure. And in the green we have Kr1lle playing as the Vikings. And Mipful, thanks so much for the subscription. I appreciate it. It's going some part of that into the prize pool as shown in the screen before. And I believe you won your first set, so good luck for the next one. And so this is the top elo section indeed. That sub alert, by the way, is my own recording of the main team, which is also played on the horn, my instrument. So I had some fun recording those for, some personal touch to my stream. Let's get back to the game here. It's Arabia as the first game, as always, in the best of 3. I'll get that scoreboard up a bit later as well, doesn't matter quite yet. We have Mayans for Oyecomova and Kr1lle with the Vikings. So both very strong eco civilizations. I'm not even sure who to favor. But considering that it's likely that both civilizations will be going for the archers play here, I'm going to give Mayans the upper hand, simply because of their cheaper archery range units and their ability to also go into eagles against enemy archers. However, Vikings have a great counter in their infantry as well. Their infantry has more HP, so if the Mayans player goes into eagle warriors, then the Vikings will be able to make either berserkers from the castles or their own strong extra HP infantry, like the swordsman line. But Vikings indeed, amazing civilization with wheelbarrow and handcart kicking in instantly upon reaching feudal age and castle age. We can't really discourage that advantage. Now let's look a little bit at the maps here. Mayans player here with gold in the back, side gold in the back. Main gold about to be semi-secured forward here by some walling well ahead here. Still a gap there, though I don't know why that's open, but it should be easy to wall off this section here all the way to the edge to at least deny archers from reaching over the woodlines and idle it here. One downside for Oyecomova is the left-hand side, though, which is extremely open. It's going to, if going for a full wall approach, it's going to make for a tough one here to completely wall. You could go for some economic approach like they're doing right now, though, which might be contested by Kr1lle here. But with Mayans, they always take loom right away. So it's likely that Kr1lle won't do much more than poke at this wall building villager at best to delay the walls a little bit. Now what I'm expecting from Vikings here on the other side is the barracks going up. It's going up at 18 pop. We have 4 on berries and the rest on under the TC here now, suggesting a men-at-arms opening from the Vikings. Men-at-arms into archers. Main gold forward for Kr1lle here, not ideal. And then the side golds very forward as well, one even right up against the hill. So as the game progresses, this hill is going to be crucial for both players to hold. Maybe especially Kr1lle, since it's a bit closer to their base here. And but we'll see how it turns out. Gone to gold now. We'll likely be clicking up at 22 pop here, I believe. Mayans with no barracks yet, though, so it looks like the straight archers approach here for Oyecomova with a suspect wall here, I have to say. If you wall just right down there instead, you're much more secure from whatever forward is coming away here, but could be, must be some reasoning behind it to have easier opportunities to wall behind or something in the event of any forward. But this seems like a waste of wood to me, not actually walling out one wood line here. And there's the barracks, but that's going up on the way to the field edge here, so it's not going to be an infantry opening here for Oyecomova. They could use it to go into their own infantry to fend off the Vikings forward here, the men-at-arms that are about to come, or they could simply, or they're simply just placing it to have that prerequisite building to go into the straight archers after here. Last bit of wall up here, going quite close to the woodland. I guess walling this one out is just a matter of less villager walking time here to get back to the berries, so for efficiency, rather than and then just relying on the back woodland there to be safe for later. Kr1lle wants to maybe try and deny some walls here, but isn't probably not going to succeed here. Let's see. He gets it actually. That's a crucial moment for Oyecomova, just one tile away from finishing the wall there. Scout has enough HP to contest this villager that is stressing to get this wall up, but still these unfinished palisades have less HP, and with men-at-arms now and the Scout already inside the base to deny walling behind here, I think Kr1lle makes it through here for some good hits on the economy of Oyecomova here, unless... Yeah, this is going to be enough here. Looks tough for the Mayans player right now. Has to deal with the men-at-arms now. The range is applicable. Did it go for men-at-arms? No. Yeah, off berries for now. And the wood line for now is the back one here. And it could be that Kr1lle hasn't got it scouted yet. Does see a little bit of wood there though, so that should still be a potential area to hit for Kr1lle before the military numbers can get hit here. And Snippet says, nice to see I'm not the only one that has trouble against men-at-arms. Fair point. I struggle against that sometimes as well. One villager down though. That's not only one actually, 3 villagers down for Oyecomova here. A bit of a disaster start for the Mayans player and some good punishment from Kr1lle's side here, making sure to keep the men-at-arms off TC fire as best as they can here. Scout does go down though, but 3 men-at-arms still alive, and as long as the archers don't have fletching, you could also try to get close and kill them off while they try hit and run. Looks like the end of the men-at-arms here now though. Suicided them to TC. Oh, the split! Never mind. Keeps all 3 alive with some next level splitting here, and yet another villager is at danger of going down here for Oyecomova. Thanks for the follow, Chibo, is that it? Yeah, Chibo, I think, unless it's an L. As Oyecomova has gotten the archers out and cleaned up the men-at-arms forward here finally, falling behind 2 villagers to Vikings. Mayans have longer lasting resources, whereas Vikings have wheelbarrow kicking in instantly, so Vikings being 2 or 3 villagers ahead is kind of huge here. And what happened here? We have some bugs here, out of sync, replaying game. Oh. I tested this earlier today. I thought it was going to work. Excellent tournament, the open season. Thanks, I appreciate the feedback. Yes, it's a bug with this patch. It seems a bit random, whatever works or not. So what I could do is I could downgrade to get the rest of this match, but I think we'll just move into the next one and take it from there. Sucks. It's because of the hotfix that was released just a few days ago, in between things that the games that were played in between got affected. So some recordings work and some don't. I think I'll just simply have to move on to the next one, unfortunately. Hotfix messing up everything here. Let's disconnect. Yeah, they have some fixes to do for sure. But on the other hand, every server maintenance or hotfix like that will break the actual games. I think we'll just dive into the next one though, and leave it at that, and hopefully we'll get back into some more nice games later. So we'll go into game 2, and maybe get a scoreboard up as well. Spoilers, but I do know that Kr1lle did take the first game, because I have had a check up on these games from earlier. We're connected, and let's go into game 2 here. So this should be Oyecomova's home map, with the Tatars here for Acropolis, a pick that I absolutely admire for this map. You have the hill, you could camp your hill with Tatars here and take very favorable fights from uphill, because Tatars get extra bonus damage from hills, plus 25% more damage for any unit working from uphill. As the opponent, we have Kr1lle with the Franks here. Fantastic cavalry seal as well. Great boom potential. Got nerfed a little bit here, so their foraging will be slightly slower than it used to be. Now it went down from 25% to 15%. Shouldn't make too much of a difference in the long run. However, Oyecomova also with the Dark Age bonus for the units. The Tatars sheep, they give 50 extra food per sheep. And yeah, giving them a little Dark Age eco boost as well. Back gold, back berries here for Oyecomova. Even the hunt right next to the mill, the berries here. So you could easily actually mill both the berries and the ibex here. You don't need to push them in unless you want them under your TC for maximum or as efficient hunt harvesting as possible. Because if you do that, you could go into if you have the deer under the TC, you are dropping off instantly. So you will have less DK on your hunt. As simple as that. But for the Franks though, we have 2 golds. This is a fantastic TC spot for later if you can get to it, because the dude secured both golds easily. But for the early game it's not optimal, because for the Tatars player with some ranged unit, it will be so much easier to deny both of these golds. If you have some archers forward, some men-at-arms, whatnot you want to go for on this side. Judging their civ's choices here though and their eco bonuses, scouts absolutely a viable option for Acropolis, because of you need to take map control early to try and deny the opposing player to go to the other neutral resources here. Speaking of neutral resources, by the way, we have golds and stones on either side for both players here, so the neutral resources disposition looks rather decent here. So a minimum idle TC time here has to be expected of these higher level players in the top bracket. And Oyecomova seems to have a little bit more scouting down here. I think that would explain the score lead. Is looking to the sides for the enemy, but will be going forward in the end. Oh, we'll survive this one. Did get into loom here. Could be some measure to avoid idle TC time here. Still very cheap to take, as to be expected by Tatars. They get depleted more slowly, giving that extra 50 food. 4 on berries in the back here as well. Both players... Oh wait, Kr1lle with a 2 villager lead here actually, because of the early loom of Oyecomova here. Starting a bit of a wall off though, a house on the gold here. And meanwhile, Kr1lle is investing heavily into the hunt under the TC here. Getting close to that village click, going to reach that village first, I'd assume, the Frank's player here. And I'd be surprised to see anything else than scouts with this setup with 3 on wood and the rest focusing heavily on food. Could be a 20 pop scouts in the end. So we have 20 pop for Oyecomova as well, going for the wall off here. Might be trying to keep the scouts out and then actually maybe get away with a more fast castle approach here. No barracks yet. This walling seems ambitious though, with Kr1lle with the full HP scout coming here maybe to try and contest it a bit. It's still a while to go to village though, so with any luck here, Oyecomova might still be able to wall off the whole section here in time. Main gold within limits of walling here. If the walls are far enough out, you wouldn't have to worry about towers or any other ranged approach here either. This kind of walling though costs a lot of wood and will limit your progress to some extent, but taking the IBXA certainly helps. That delays that, and the extra food from sheep will still bring in food consistently before Oyecomova needs to spend wood on farms. And now it's fortunately not out of sync. I just think I need to restart Capture H to catch up here. Quit it actually. Oh, Capture H. I might as well just go back to casting with the regular in-game spectating feature here. But let's hope it's not out of sync just yet and try to catch up with the rest here. We'll pick up where we left off, fortunately. I think it's just gonna lag a little bit in the start here before it catches up. That's my hope, anyway. Well, there's the fuel age for Kr1lle. Wall's not quite complete yet for Oyecomova. And there's also the initial scout of Kr1lle here to maybe be able to delay the walls enough for the rest of the scouts to arrive in time here. Remember, the Frank scouts also have a little bit extra HP, 54 as opposed to the generic 45. Is that a villager kill? I think so. And almost keeping the open there. Okay, so 1 villager down there for Oyecomova. A bit of a bad loss at this stage of the game. Still in the Dark Age as well. Mind you, after the recent patch, Dark Age walls are 40% weaker. Here comes the barracks, very much needed to go into spears for defense here. And Kr1lle is just getting the best value possible of the initial scout here. We'll probably lose the scout now, but at the reward is lots of idle time here still on Oyecomova's side. Just look at the idle eco time here now. Very impressive TC production here for Oyecomova though. 0 idle time on the TC, but the rest of the eco not as much. Hi, Mr. Saltman. So what's the scouts investment like? 3 scouts, fuel age will kick in, so no more raking through the weak palisades. Still going to potentially force some house and quick walls behind the palisades here for Oyecomova. Oh! Oh, good. Was a hole? No, it's not a hole anymore, thankfully. Good spot by Oyecomova there to see that just in time. Making another hole here to take the rest of the hunt, but there we go. Is this the lowest bracket? No, this is actually the 1500 to 1800 bracket. So this is the highest one. For scouts, not going to be able to do much more than scout the map after this. All the walls in place for Oyecomova, with actually 2 villagers lead here after losing some. So not looking too bad. Going to pull off that fast-ish castle here with the current setup. That's thanks to the the extra food from the sheep and the hunt being so close to the berries in the back here. Shouldn't be a big problem to keep the aggression out here, just drop a few new palisades, even just repair the palisades that the scouts are hitting here. There we go. That's the most cost efficient option of all, just to do the repairs. Still gonna cost you a little bit of wood, but the investment is negligible. So an annoyance for sure, we see that those palisades, they cost so little, so if you commit to repairs, it's not really going to cost you a lot of wood, but in exchange it's going to take the enemy forever to break through. The HP going down here, of course, but at some point Oyecomova is going to need more houses as well, so might as well just pull up a house here at some point if needed. The army situation could be an issue though. It's Kr1lle is about to click that cast stage as well. So all in all, with that 4 scouts investment only going to fall behind by 1.5 million to the cast stage. And let's see what the follow-up is. Is very likely to, of course, to be another stable for Franks here, double stable knights. Only 3 on gold for Oyecomova. That would almost suggest some kind of archer's crossbows play here. Our villagers moving out now to drop another TC once cast stage kicks in. Probably around the area here to secure some woods and golds over here. Let's see where they're at. One spearman accompanying them as well, just in case the scouts decide to run over to try and obstruct this from happening. Second stable is in place for Kr1lle here. We are with 50 seconds to go to reach the cast stage, adding some more spears as well, just in case any surprises come over from the Tatars player's side here. But Oyecomova seems to want to commit to economy here, being earlier up to the cast stage and only having seen scouts so far from the enemy. Kr1lle doesn't see the expansion just yet. I think that's a spearman scouting on this side. And hoping for overchops and an entry for the scouts into the base here, but won't really find any here. Walling off the side here, I like it. That limits the raid potential a little bit from the Franks Knights here, and you'll need houses anyways, why not? 7 villagers lead for Oyecomova now, but keep in mind that they went fast castle without wheelbarrow. Kr1lle did get that wheelbarrow before going up. So at some point Oyecomova is going to take wheelbarrow, and that's going to have them fall behind, and that's going to leave Kr1lle in a position to catch up a little bit in villager numbers. Second TC going up here. So knights moving forward now, +1/+1 here. Not afraid of archers apparently, or cav archers. Is this cav archers though? Straight into the cav archers for the Tatars player here. I didn't like that call there. It's going to take a while to mass them though, but they do get thundering instantly, so cav archers absolutely a go-to play for Tatars. You could use the hill advantage as well for some nice hit and run. And considering that Kr1lle's knights only have +1 armor for now, the cav archers should be in decent numbers, be able to deal with small groups of knights here. I think Oyecomova could benefit from a monastery inside their walls here as well, to add some monks to convert small knights trying to break to the walls here of Kr1lle, but that's gonna come once the wood allows it. Probably not an option going for the cav archers, because you need as much wood as possible to mass this unit. Wood and gold, that is. Meanwhile, Kr1lle is effectively scouting the map with the knights already and scouts already on the field, just about to find the TC here, probably expecting some kind of expansion here from Oyecomova. And there we go, there's the town center, outside the walls. Doesn't take an engagement yet. That looks like a spearman that has seen better days over here. 9 knights total now against 11 cav archers. However, the cav archers only have pledging, no armor, so they will be quite weak if the knights can get close to them. And yeah, nice numbers steadily increasing here for Kr1lle. Do we have both stables producing here? Not right now, for some reason. Maybe to make sure to keep the TC working here. I'm not sure. Some precious idle time cost here on Oyecomova's side, though, with TC being completely idled and hence obstructing the wood access needed. Not really taking any risks for the army. Kr1lle wants to get some serious numbers going before engaging here. Oyecomova maybe with the counter-attack though. Kr1lle is in. Cav archers with nice hit and run potential. And always has the option to pull back towards the hill here to exploit that extra range hill damage that Tatars benefit from. Cav archers on the move, 19 to 60 military. I would still favor the knights if Kr1lle goes into +2 here. Although the cav archers can always hit and run, of course. Very open on Kr1lle's side here. He has TCs in strategic spots though, so you could pull back. But for example, this woodland here, if Oyecomova is able to, yeah, knows of it already actually, would know that that's a nice place to hit because the walls here, the villagers literally can't escape here other than breaking the walls and run away. So that would be a perfect spot for the cav archers to engage for some nice and free villager kills. Which capture age do you use? I use the one that is the official one, probably. So that should be some dead villagers here for Kr1lle, trying to go into the gold here. Yeah, exactly, the extra program that I've downloaded. I'm surprised to see Oyecomova not trying to use the height advantage here. Of course, a good kill, good idea to pull back as well. Nice hit and run microwave. Now taking the hill, perfect. Gonna look at some good damage here. Even now with +2 in for the knights, that height helps a bit. But of course, you can never allow the knights to catch up either when you only have one defense tech tier. Generally, you don't want the knights to catch up, of course. 15 to 20 military now, so knights outnumbering the cav archers slightly here now. Still a couple of scouts in the mix for Kr1lle as well, allowing for some constant intel collection on the map. See the efficient use of the scouts around here. Basically knows everything about the map by now. We should of course not discourage Oyecomova's scouting either, knowing where Kr1lle has expanded to. Nice castle coming down here as well. Actually, the gold is depleted on the home base of one side of the Oyecomova's side, or about to be, so some expansion will be needed for sure. Castle here near the woodlands though, perfect castle to protect both of these woodlands for Oyecomova. Seems to be in a better spot in this game than in the previous Arabia game that unfortunately cut short due to a patch difference. So simply out of sync. Patches and hotfixes tend to break recorded games, unfortunately, so that's some trouble I'm gonna run into multiple times, unfortunately. Going ahead here. So now we're looking at 23 cav archers here, matched by the knights numbers again here. And so only, or not only, 2 rangers producing cav archers here. Oyecomova floating lots of gold here, but extending to the woodlines now where the castle is, so that should help boost the cav archer production a bit if they can get more ranges up here. The eco upgrades though is a bit of a worry here as well, though. Double attacks and horse collar will be falling behind to Kr1lle's economy here, considering that Kr1lle has bozo and heavy plow as well, and even handcart actually. So usually suggesting that Imperial Age might not be too far away. Ooh, flaming camels OP, that would be fun. They're more of a meme unit than something you'd see regularly in competitive play though, but never say never. If you research the unique technology with Tatars, you gain access to trebs with +2 range and unlock the potential for making flaming camels in your castles. And they are apparently good against mass cavalry, like a petard on a camel, but against melee units or cavalry units. So note how both the players are just very careful so as not to take unfavorable fights. They're trying to keep their numbers very consistent and just wait for the masses to take over. This is especially important for Oyecomova in my opinion, because if you can get to heavy cavalry archers, you're looking at a very strong mobile unit both for raiding purposes and to even against knights, maybe even cavalier. They would do nice because you could always hit and run and exploit the fact that their Pierce armor of knights aren't anything that special. Going in for the raids here now. Going to get quite a few builder kills here, but Kr1lle with a superior eco behind this though. 3 TCs to 2, and their imp timings are going to be roughly similar here. It's a 1 minute lead for Oyecomova, so certainly helpful in the long run here, but wheelbarrow kicking in just now, and the lack of eco upgrade is just going to hurt a lot in the long run here. It's, farm eco doesn't support hussars, for example, which is one of Tatar's strengths in the Imperial Age, and having only 16 farmers, not going to see any easy movements soon. I lost 20 bills there, yeah. That was some good raids from the cav archers, but overall, eco setup still though, looking nicer for Kr1lle here. So many villagers going down though, actually evening out the numbers here, Oyecomova with 1 less TC. So more ranges in the middle here, not really producing right now. Not going into heavy cav archers either. Toriobat, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. So we have cav archers and knights fighting for the attention here. Cavalier should be right around the corner for Kr1lle here. And plate partying maybe even more significant here to increase the pierce armor of the cavalier. Scorpions help out a lot here as well, although immobile. They deal area damage, as we can see, hit through many units at once. Oyecomova doing their best to micro them down here and take as little damage as possible. We'll also be able to pull back towards the castle here for protection, maybe even healing up a bit inside here. Still only cav archers though, no heavy cav archer just yet. Eco not really allowing for that. 29 cav archers total. As, yeah, military numbers roughly similar. Kr1lle with that extra 2 more TCs now actually over Oyecomova does keep and fortify that villager lead though. So long-term eco looks a lot better for Oyecomova here, unfortunately. So I think Oyecomova needs an additional unit here, not just rely on the cav archers, but extend the food economy to be able to go into light cav hussars here, maybe. We need something against the siege for sure. But Cavalier and Scorpion, not much this group of the cavalry archers will do with that on their own. Still a pretty good fight for Oyecomova though, and pulling back towards the reinforcements here, taking some losses on the gold here, unfortunately, but all things considered, doesn't seem to be doing too bad considering they are still only cavalry archers and not heavier. Treb pushing the castle here though, and with some army to back them. Second Treb incoming. Some impressive cav archer Michael here to focus down the scorpions and also cavaliers here, but will it be enough? That's the issue. The overall eco for the late game here seems to favor Kr1lle all that much more here. 35 on food, 32 on gold. Should support multiple stables production with ease here. Not to mention that the castle will go down to Trebs here. Only 2 builders repairing, that's not going to be enough. And Oyecomova is also about to run out of stone here. Still good hit and run by Micro, but look at all these weakened cav archers here now. They will be hunted down by the cavaliers here and go down one by one. The castle has been lost, and the cavalier are now free to raid the exposed woodlines here and put Oyecomova in a pickle here in terms of wood income. Is Oyecomova making bills? No, doesn't seem like it. Too preoccupied with the cav archer Micro and falling significantly behind. And yeah, idle TC time, that's true, we have the stats over here. Kr1lle has collected some relics as well, so some good overall map control and some extra bonus gold from the relics as well to sustain this. More siege being added. Franks even get access to heavy scorpion, so that could actually be a play here if the eco at any point suggests it. And Kr1lle has a point that heavy cav archer, that's a rather costly investment, so if you want to go into that, you need to maybe idle as well. Kr1lle wrote earlier that he's Swedish, so he is from Sweden. We have heavy cav archer in though, but is that going to be enough to deal with the masses of cavalry? 37 to 20, and with that extra bonus damage from the hill, that's certainly going to help out here. Almost one-shotting the cavalier actually. Map control is going to be an issue though. At some point the gold is going to run short here for Oyecomova. There's still that gold in the back to be taken, so that could maybe be secured somehow. Stone count suggesting another castle to go up as well. And finds a nice choke point here to sit and focus down even more units here. But yeah, of course Kr1lle reacts immediately, won't allow the cav archers to just sit there. Taking some losses no doubt, and let's see the KD here. It's actually very much higher for Oyecomova here, but with the eco backing everything, it's still Kr1lle setting up nicely for the late game over here, but with a better eco balance to do whatever seems to be their plan here. So raids alone can do a lot, but they won't necessarily win you the game. You'd have to constantly raid to keep the builder numbers at Oyecomova's level here now, if Oyecomova is still not reproducing here now. TC has gone down here, probably to the Trebs. Cavalier raiding here now as well. So they're raiding each other, but Oyecomova losing cav archers to the castle here. Now left with only 10 heavy cav archers against Kr1lle with the constant supplies of more units here. Down to with 23 cavaliers, some capped rams and Trebs to address what's left of Oyecomova's production capabilities. 7 on wood, 3 on gold, not really going to help with replenishing units here. The GG is called, and that's a 2-0 for Kr1lle. So let's quit Capture H, have a look at the game for the actual stats here, and I'll update the bracket as well. So total score in favor of Kr1lle here with more map control and a solid push to back it. KD not that dissimilar. Has to have been a lot of villagers from Oyecomova here, but Kr1lle always replenishing. Oyecomova not as insistent upon doing that. I guess that 2 TCs was a conscious choice from Oyecomova to try and get a faster Imperial Age, which they also did, but at the cost of a less ideal late game economy to go into. For example, Hussars, which is another one of Tatar's unique strengths, especially if you can get to that unique tech they have that benefits both Cav Archers and Hussars with +1/+1 armor, or +1 attack and +1 armor, I don't remember. But overall, Kr1lle much more consistent with the villager production here, gets good payoff for that, and more map control overall for the neutrals, golds and stones there. Frank's also had cheaper castles for easier map control. Oyecomova, solid castle age, but that could also be said about Kr1lle with that scout's investment to reach castle age before 19 minutes. Some relic gold didn't really turn the game around here, but it's still beneficial to have for the long run. And then finally, for the timeline here to show the early scouts here, where Kr1lle had army, Oyecomova didn't. And Cav Archer numbers increasing here, getting good raids in and diminishing the economy here, but then in the end it's Kr1lle's fight to win. So GG.